Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to take a look at Hedera Hashgraph HBAR because I do recognise it's been quite a while since we did a market update on HBAR. I think our last two major market updates were around 3.5 cents, outlining the big monthly demand area, in which case we was buying, and then as we was approaching 5 cents, outlining this as a key zone to break through, backtest and then get the move up to the weekly supply zone, in which case guys you can see we've got the move and it's pretty much pinpoint precision nearly to the top of the weekly supply zone, and then a nice little rejection here. So what I want to go through is what I'm expecting in the medium to short term and in the long term for HBAR. But guys, if you haven't already, smash this video a like, it really helps. Subscribe and let's get into it. If you do want to go back and check out the videos I made on HBAR down at 3.5 cents and as we was approaching 5 cents, I will link those in the description below. However, what we need to focus on now is how sentiment is changing and how massively we are up since our buying opportunity, and how sentiment is so ridiculously bearish up and around these levels as we are beginning to get a bit of a dump from the weekly supply zone. So if you can imagine now, as we was buying at around these levels, we needed to be mentally prepared for more downside, but we recognized the opportunity in the market, in which case we was rewarded massively here, and that move from the lows is up to around a nice nearly 200% move. And as we are now still up over 100% for HBAR from the lows, people are beginning to get really bearish again at these points. Yeah, which is a great sign, because you want these people who was maybe wanting to get into HBAR, the late market participants buying the highs up at the weekly supply zone. We need these people to be put through a bit of pain in the market, because it is this liquidity right here that may provide the next move up as these stop losses to the highs are taken, and as the stop losses to the lows are taken, and as the market seeks liquidity. Once it takes all of the liquidity that it wants, it will probably get ready for the next move. And what I can see happening here for HBAR is something of the sort, a nice clear rejection that we've already got from the weekly supply zone, perhaps even a bit of a back test to get everyone bullish again, and then come in for the nice sweep of the weekly supply zone turned demand. That would really be what I was looking for in HBAR, to be honest, and that would be, if we have a little zoom out here, you can just see how this market structure would play out. Key structural support now turned demand. We need to see this back tested for continuation to the upside, and if we do get this back test to the downside, you can guarantee how many people will be so bearish down here. However, from when we bought at the lows, that is still going to be up nearly 100%, which is why I do admit a bit of profit taking up at the highs is never ever to be missed out on. And I did tweet out the other day that I was taking a nice percentage gain on HBAR as we was up at around 8.5 cents, just to protect ourselves. Take that initial investment out, and then we can be mentally prepared for these downside moves, no matter how low they go, because as we do often get when we return back to a nice supply zone 10 demand, you'll often get some wicks below here, and that would be your final opportunity, in my opinion, to accumulate again. But like I say, I'm not looking to accumulate any more HBAR myself, because from the lows down here at around 3.5 cents, we've been able to take that initial investment out up at the weekly supply zone, and now we have no fear. There's no risk in this market anymore, because if the market was to go and set new lows, we've taken that investment out, we've taken that bit of profit to be able to benefit from the downside move. However, it also protects us psychologically, as we do maybe get a bit of wicks below these weekly supply zones, turn demand for HBAR, and we can be absolutely really self-secure and absolutely know that we're under no risk here. If we do get new lows, it's a new opportunity. However, if we are just to range in this supply zone, it's all noise to us guys that was looking at this monthly demand area to buy. So I think really just trying to keep calm in this market is the way we need to go. We was remaining calm down at the lows here, remaining patient, remaining psychologically stable, and we need to do the same as we've had the moves to the upside, because it can get exciting for people, but if people are not taking profits, people are going to lose out, and people are going to end up selling the lows as we come back into the weekly supply zone 10 demand, which is what I can really see happening. Now imagine you are the person who was buying up at the highs for HBAR. You're going to be looking at a nice 30-40% loss on that initial investment straight away if we do return back to this weekly supply zone. And if you have a look at this as a nice 5-wave move to the upside, potentially something like this, we would be expecting a nice ABC correction, and this could be your first A wave, come back to the weekly supply zone for your B wave, and then come in for a nice fast C wave to the downside, make everybody panic down here as the lows get taken down here. This liquidity, sorry, keep moving the screen there. This liquidity below these levels as the late longs was building here gets taken, then look for the market to make the next move, which is why we just need to sit back, relax, and let the market do the work. Take profit when you need to, but don't ever be emotionally manipulated by the market makers seeking liquidity. Which brings me straight into our next point for HBAR. We still are looking at the higher time frame, bigger targets to the upside. But on the lower time frame, what we've been concentrating on is being able to protect that capital, being able to protect ourselves emotionally and psychologically for the moves up and down, to then be able to benefit from the higher time frame moves to the upside, being able to ignore all of the noise as we do get perhaps an ABC correction. Or if we go and set new lows, like I said, still a massive opportunity, because in my opinion, all we would be doing is taking this liquidity and getting ready for a much bigger move to the upside. So we're in a great situation, guys. The only bad situation is for people who was buying the highs, potentially looking at a nice 14-50% loss on their initial investment. Probably will look to sell the lows at this weekly supply zone 10 demand, in which case then would the big whales and big market participants, if this is a 1-2 to the upside, they would be looking to bid this area for the higher move to the upside. So that would again be a case of late market participants buying the highs, selling the lows, and getting manipulated by the market once again. So what I want to do is just show a clip from my last video when we was talking about HBAR at around 3.5 cents. You could hear the excitement in my voice as we was down there, explaining why I was so excited down here and how we've been able to benefit from the move to the upside, just so you guys can see what market sentiment was like back here a couple of months ago and how it has changed so massively. Really come down to a key monthly demand area now with Hedera Hashgraph. I did make a video 5 months ago outlining this area, which is why I'm so excited. You might be able to hear the excitement in my voice today because we're finally got there. We finally got to the level, and patience has been really key with Hedera Hashgraph up to now, and I think we might be in for a very good start to the year. So, and as you can see, guys, from January the 2nd there, which was pretty much one of the best buying opportunities for HBAR that you was ever going to get at the bottom of the market. We've had a very good start to the year, as we said we might get to see. Obviously the risk to reward down here was very good, but the risk to reward up here at the weekly supply zone is never going to be favourable. But I do still think the market is looking very good. Just a nice little short-term pullback to the weekly supply 10 demand zone, and then looking for the higher targets. And if we have a much bigger zoom out here, obviously as we look at HBAR, this is a tiny move. A bit of consolidation around these areas would be expected before then a much bigger move to the upside. You know, for HBAR, great technology in the market, massive community. We could very well go and break new all-time highs for HBAR in the coming year or 2 years or 3 years. But our major concern is protecting ourselves, protecting capital, putting ourselves in a win-win scenario, and by buying the lows and taking a bit of profit at weekly supply, being able to benefit from more lows or benefit from the highs, it's a great situation to be in, and that's the way you want to be playing the market. People say don't play both sides of the market, but I do think, obviously, we're not in the DCA range now for HBAR. That was from our previous video down at the lows, but yeah, things are looking good, guys. Just wanted to make this quick market update on HBAR because I've seen a bit of panic in the market as we get a bit of a drop. The only people that should really be panicking is the people buying the highs, and hopefully if you've been watching these videos and benefiting from this analysis, you haven't been buying the highs, you have in fact been buying the lows. So again, guys, from me, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but if you have benefited from these videos, if you do like this analysis, give us a comment, give us a like, and obviously subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Cheers.